questions on stacks and queues. The problem in hand is reverse a string. The problem statement says, given a string, reverse the string without using recursion. Reverse the string by making use of queues. Example, TEH, EHT, that should be our output. And CAT should give us TAC. So now let's go to our pen and paper, and let's actually see how this should actually be done, right? So yeah, okay, so now that we're here in our pen and paper, so what we have is we given T A C, right? So we want to reverse this, right? So with the use of queues, right? So if you guys didn't look at the interview, not the interview, but then the lesson on queues, it'll be best for you guys to go and check it out. I will link the video in the description below, or you guys can check it on your top right and you'll see the video there, right? So what is happening here, right? So we have TAC. So what we do is, since we know from queues, right? A queue is basically a normal queue, like a line. Let's say these are people, right? Let's just drift off. Let's just say the sticks are people, right? So you wanna come in this queue, right? You cannot just put yourself here. You have to come from where? From here, right? So this is what we're gonna do with this entire string of characters, right? So we have C, not T, we have T. So T, we put him here, right? This is T, right? And then once we have T, now A wants to join the queue, and A cannot just come in here. We have to tag A where? Here at the back. And then we have C, we tag C where? Here at the back, right? So but the note that this right now will be in a list form, right? They'll be in a list form. So with the with Python, it will be simple. For this right now, we'll just use the join method, and then we'll have everything together in one string, right? So basically, this is the main idea behind this entire reverse the string without use of recursion or whatever, right? So now let's go to our text editor and actually see how we can make life to this and code this up. Okay, so now that we are in our text editor, so like normal, pause the video, try to solve this on your own based on what we talked about and the brainstorming that we had in the pen and paper. Then once you're done, replay this and then see how I managed to do it. And if you came up with a different solution, that is perfect. And if you didn't, don't hate yourself. This is a learning curve for everyone, right? So what we say is define solution s. So what we do is here, right? We can just make just a simple test case, man. It's not necessary, but then it's just a simple test case that if there's an empty string, we also return nothing, right? So finally, what we need is our queue, right? So I'll be using a list as normal, but then you guys can make everything manual as possible for best practice. Implement your own queue and then solve this problem as manual as possible. So we do that, right? So right now we want to go through each and every character within the string and then append it into the queue. So we say for word in s q dot insert, add the 0th element, and then we insert that word, right? So this should do everything for us. And then finally, what we want to do is we want to return that dot join the queue. So this should be our solution. I believe this should be our solution. Now let's test this out. And then we say s is equals to, let's start with this there, and then let's say print solution, and then pass in s. So now let's see if we do get what we want. There we go, we get EHT. So now let's try another test case that we're given, that is cat, and then we should get TAC. So now let's see if our solution holds for a sentence, like a full-on sentence. So let's say learning data structures and algorithms is nice. So let's see if our solution can reverse something like that. And there we go, we have ECIN, that is our nice in reverse, and we have our is in reverse, and we have our algorithms in reverse, and so on and so forth. So our solution holds for even a long sentences with like spaces and all that. So now let's go through the solution one more time and let's see, so that to enhance our understanding. So here I just made a simple test case. Let me just show you. This was not necessary, but then yeah, it was necessary, I guess, because what if we do not have this test case? So let's say we had something like this, then this should return nothing, right? So now let's see if we remove this test case, and maybe it might break, maybe it might not break. So let's see. And there we go, it breaks, you see. So I guess this test case was then necessary for us to then capture that edge case test, that if there's nothing, then there's nothing to append to. So it was necessary at the end of the day. So here, that's what we're trying to catch, that if we have an empty string, then we return nothing, right? So if our string holds for this, then we make our queue, and then we go through each and every character and then insert it. So if you guys didn't see the queues lecture, then you guys can look at it so that you can understand what's actually happening here. But then for those that just want to know on how to solve this, but then let me just explain this insert. So we have something like this. So let's use that cat example. So we have our string cat, right? So we want to append this using our queue. So what happens is we have C, right? So we append C. So we'll then note that this is a queue, so we can append A here because that will be in front of C, but then we have to append it here. Hence the 0 to capture that 0th element, right? And then we have our C inside. And then the same applies for T. We have our T inside. And now we have our reversed list, but then now we have to use the dot join method, and then we join everything that's in here, and then we get all that we want, that is TAC. So now let's look at the time complexity of this, and then we'll be done with our stacks and queues. And here we're going through characters a number of times because we do not know ourselves how many characters are in the string. So this is basically n times, and our time complexity should be order of n. And I hope you guys enjoyed the classes or the lectures in stacks and queues, and you learned a lot. Hoping to see you guys on the next chapter, that is linked list, one of my favorites, and hoping to see you guys there. Please like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.